What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 12 of the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast. And today we have a special segment with the Fantasy Football Bros podcast to talk about the new wildcard football game. Then we're going to discuss XDefiant, Knight Silksong, Hades 2, and finish it off with Kraven the Hunter, the movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not the number of breaths we take, but the number of moments that take our breath away.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
You are now tuned in to the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast.
I love it when you talk nerdy to me.
Is this Christina Aguilera?
I screwed you this week. It is not a song lyric. I Googled cheesy motivational quotes, and that's the first one that came up.
It sounds like a Christina Aguilera result. I tried.
No, that would have been a solid choice. It was between that quote and Live, Laugh, Love. So, I don't know.
You did you so dirty on that one, Adam.
I did you dirty. I did you dirty this week. I love you, buddy.
Here I'm thinking song lyrics, but whatever. We'll go for it. I'm 1 for 11 now. Thanks for that.
Well, this is a freebie. We're gonna give you that one because I dogged you. So now you're 2 for 12.
All right.
But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. As you can see, we are not alone today. We are joined by some very special guests. We got Chaz, we got Adam from the Fantasy Bros Football Podcast. Let's go. What is up, boys?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate
We had
it.
you guest on ours before, Dave. We can have you on again.
Dude, that was so fun. I had a great time. Thank you guys for coming on. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you having us, man. For sure.
Real quick, when we have guests on, we really kind of we want to get to know you a little bit as gamers. So let's talk a little bit. What type of games are you guys into? How long you been gaming for?
Ooh, Chaz, you go first. Go ahead.
All that good stuff.
Well, if you guys can see on the camera, I'm actually wearing my PlayStation 5 headphones for this episode. So,
Let's go.
Back in my day, I had the original Sega Genesis and always have kept up, and I've kind of went back and forth. I've realized in this latter generation of I was a PS2 guy, then I was a 360 guy, but then I was a PS4 guy, but that led me right into the PS5. So always sports games, and then in the past 10 years I started getting into more multiplayer and online games and stuff too, but I didn't become really nerdy in that until the past couple years. So
Nice. Adam, what you got?
Gotta start somewhere.
I've always been a big sports guy growing up, and I still am, obviously. But lately, I've been really digging the battle royale games. So any Call of Duty, Fortnite, stuff like that. But I'm a big any RPG game that allows you to customize endlessly. That's my jam.
Let's go.
I spend more time customizing everything than I do playing the actual game.
Dude, sometimes just gotta do what you gotta do to make that character your own.
Man. I customize everything. I want to find everything. I want to make them look as badass as possible, and then I'm ready to rock.
Man, that's the opposite of me. I just go in there, guns blazing, right? Whatever's the preset is what I'm picking as my character.
I
typically,
did listen to all of the episodes leading up to this, so I know a little bit about you guys as well. So. Hopefully,
Adam.
That's awesome.
Adam is a run and gun preset.
Yes,
Give me the gun.
I've heard that.
Yep. Okay, I've got a question for you guys. Your podcast, Fantasy Bros Podcast. Tell us a little bit about that and how long you guys been doing that for.
Fantasy Football Bros Podcast. It started. We just celebrated our year anniversary.
1 year.
Sweet.
Last month.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yep, it was, and Dave celebrated that.
Dave was with us on that the all-time fantasy draft episode, which was a great episode. I love that.
That was a great episode.
But yeah, I've been in. It was my brainchild. I've been into fantasy football for ages, and then I've always listened to Fantasy Football Podcast too, and it just turned into this and I'm on a nerdy podcast, but it just turned into this legit nerdy here's all the stats and here's everything and here's everything. All right, guys, good luck. And it's just I feel like there's not a lot of entertainment, and it's so we're trying to bring some of the nerdy stuff and be entertaining. Our slogan is "We're funny and we'll help you win some money." So that's just kind of how it is. So you're gonna come to us, you're gonna get good-ish fantasy advice. But if you don't like fantasy football, we're gonna make you laugh your ass off.
Hopefully. That's
good.
the hope.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good side.
And
yeah.
honestly, like fantasy, like football in itself is like a video game in its own.
It kind of
You know what I
is,
mean?
yeah.
You gotta,
if you think about it
yeah.
in a deeper
So that's what I was
aspect.
looking at. I was like, yeah, that's kind of when I was looking at. I was like, because I play fantasy football. I'm not very good at all. I don't think I've gotten higher than fourth
Well,
place.
now
like,
you can
ever.
listen to our podcast and we can help you out.
Yeah, that's gonna help me
That's
win.
right.
Yeah, definitely. I actually watched you guys' the pick'em when you guys did the fantasy draft. I saw you in there, Dave. Like on like you guys had the cookout and stuff. I watched that like vlog podcast episode.
Oh,
That
that
was
was
cool.
I believe that was for your draft, right? In one of your
That
leagues?
was my last.
Yeah,
year's
that was
draft.
last
Yep.
year's.
Yeah,
fantasy
that's what I
draft.
watched.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually
that was
Chaz's
cool.
restaurant that he does that in.
Oh, okay, cool. That's sweet. That's sweet.
So we can say without a doubt that the spread for those draft, top notch.
Absolutely.
You guys can check out the vlog when we record it this year.
Yeah,
I will be there this
cool.
year, maybe. Probably not.
Yeah.
maybe.
Depends on
That's
when
all
we
right.
draft. Because if it's after September 3rd, I'll be in Nashville.
Oh, well, both Adams are welcome to come and eat. But enough about fantasy football, because we're here to talk about something relative, I suppose.
Relative. You guys are probably wondering, okay, like we get it, it stretches all around, but why is there fantasy football bros on the Nerdy podcast? And we're gonna let you in on that right now, ladies and gentlemen. The first game that we are checking out, Adam, do you have the trailer?
I have the trailer. Whoa, I do have the trailer. Jeez, it pulled up in my ear like blazing
Let's
volume.
go.
So 1 second.
It's so,
All right, let me
it's
pull
so
it up.
excited to get some noise. It's just jumping
Yeah.
on the screen for Adam.
Yeah. Okay.
Ladies
There
and
we
gentlemen,
go.
the first game that we will be checking out is football for everybody. Wild card football.
Wild card football.
Let's go.
And
I love that they just put the name.
the
They put the
beginning.
names of the players for the teams.
Yep. Oh, sorry. This is a different trailer. This is the gameplay as well. So it gets you a little
Okay.
sneak peek of the gameplay.
See, I didn't see
Nice,
this one. That's
okay.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So when I saw this, like, oh, I bet they didn't see this. So like right off the bat, like you can see it kind of gives you the feel of like NFL Street, Blitz.
Definitely.
Like that's why I'm
Yeah,
super
that was my
excited
first
about
thought too.
it. Yeah.
And I'm curious how they're gonna do this because I did a little bit of research on it, and as you can see the team names are like kind of the team names are based on quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I mean, what?
Yeah.
A Mario mushroom there? What
Yeah,
was that?
it's ridiculous,
Yeah,
dude.
it's,
So,
it's like a
what-
pinball thing. Like you've seen like a pinball
Right.
machine that like knocks
Yep.
your ball away.
it's
That's
crazy.
basically what it is. It's like a bumper.
Well, I know what happened as of 2006, I believe, is Madden owned the exclusive rights of the NFL.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, but we can talk about that a little bit. So essentially, Madden still owns the NFL like rights,
Correct.
but they don't own the NFL Players
Correct.
Association rights, and that's why they're getting away with
Yes,
this.
that's exactly right.
And then here's the actual trailer part that was what I saw originally.
Yeah, this is the trailer
just-
that everybody's seen. So, guys, if you're just watching,
Yeah.
if you're just listening on the Spotify, basically what we're looking at is like a very arcade style football game. Like Adam said, it's got Blitz written all over it,
yeah.
and we're looking at like the craziest like power ups of like Mario mushrooms.
Yeah.
We're looking at pinball stuff. We're looking at people having like,
Growing 10 feet tall.
yeah, having electricity attached to them, just stomping over the entire field. Like it's absolute insanity that's happening on
Yeah.
the screen right now.
And then Colin's his hair that pops out. The animation of his flow coming out was kind of cool to me.
I do like the animation. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, it's gonna be a 7-on-7, a very arcade style, and
Yep.
I think this one is
Lots
gonna
of
get
players.
mixed reviews. So
I agree.
Yes.
let's. I want to get your guys' opinion first. So what do you guys think of this game? Is this a game you're excited for? Is this a game most likely gonna pass you by?
I don't think I'm overly excited for it. I think it's a cool concept. I really do appreciate the NFL Blitz, NFL Street kind of combination to it. I don't know. It's a different take on football, as you would expect, I guess, like with any game that's not really associated with the NFL. In a
Alright.
sense, it is with the Players Association, like we talked about a little bit. But as far as like, I don't know. I loved NFL Street. I loved the NFL Blitz, and I thought they were great games. And now it kind of just combines everything with the special power ups and kind of that. I guess it's a little brutal the way you tackle people, and
Oh, yeah,
I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not overly excited about it. I want to play it and see how it plays out first before I get excited about it. So it's definitely something I'll probably check out. But as far as being excited for it, it's like it's getting there. It's like it's like I'm kind of hovering in the middle a little bit.
Like building momentum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I'm excited for it in a sense, but I know how I am, so it's like I'll be excited about it, I'll buy it, I'll get it, I'll play it for an hour and a half and not touch it for 3 weeks. Like, and that's just how it is for any of those arcade sports games for me, because it's like when you get to more of the the realistic simulation style, there's just more to do. When you play Blitz, and I don't know the gameplay, per se yet. Everyone runs these same 3 routes. You kind of just have to like find it and get it.
Yeah, you have a limited playbook and all that, and So I'm curious to see where they go with that, because
now Madden a couple years ago added the yard, which was similar-ish to this. And it was the same concept. I was excited. I felt like it was going to be NFL Street all over, and the same thing. I played it for like 2 days and never went back to it. So that's the only thing that turns me off. I don't give a shit that the NFL has nothing to do with it.
That doesn't
Great.
bother me
They
either.
don't need any money anyway. That's fine.
Right.
They're fine with the money. They're getting enough money from all the gambling sites that are paying them to advertise. So they
and so I can suspend other players, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But when it comes to like the arcade style, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna like it. But nothing has ever matched Street for me, and I guess I just hold that in high regard. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, NFL
Dave, what do you
Street
got?
was just great, and
It was different. It was a top tier
Absolutely,
arcade
yeah,
style.
definitely.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
because there was more to it, like Blitz.
Yeah.
That's why it's interesting to see where this goes, because like I said, Blitz, Blitz is a little too extreme, where Street did a good job of being just above realistic. Sure, you could spin the ball and you could jump off the wall and do those things, but it wasn't like absurd like Blitz was.
Right.
So it's interesting to see what kind of like route these developers take for this, because they could go. It looks a little wild, but you never know.
I have a lot to say about this, to be honest.
I do too.
This is what I was waiting
okay.
for.
Number one, first thing, ladies and gentlemen, we had to bring a show and tell, because you know that I'm a retro nerd. So of course we had to bring the original N64 NFL Blitz on the show. So the thing is, all right, I love Blitz. Yeah, I still play it. So I'm just so everybody knows, I still play it. The thing with these arcade games, right, is they're fun for couch co-op, right? Or like maybe a multiplayer type of situation, right? But are you really going to load up this arcade style game and then play, like you're going to play a season of this? I don't think so.
Right.
Well, to that point, there's a single player season mode, but there's also multiplayer,
Right?
And there's local play too. So it has all the features for each type of player that wants either the single player, the couch co-op, or they have the online.
Yeah, but I mean the single player function, like I mean, and this might just be me, is like these games are fun to play couch co-op. Like if I'm sitting there if I'm sitting next to Chaz and we're playing this game and I'm breaking his balls and like we're having a good time, that's great. But like, and from a single player experience, like I do not want to be, my Super Bowl is on the line. It's 4th and 10, and I just I throw like a ridiculous pass that should win me the Super Bowl, and then the linebacker just turns into this 17-foot giant and like smacks me across the field. Like I would be so mad if that happened.
It's like Mario baseball in a sense. Like you do so well and you still get screwed in the end because of some power up in the end.
Right,
So.
exactly.
My biggest fear about this game is I hope to God that there are no microtransactions, which every game that has come out recently in the past, I don't know how many years, just everything has microtransactions these days. And it's
Welcome to gaming,
frustrating.
2023.
You can't just play a game and be good at it and be better than somebody else without them having to pay, use mom and dad's credit card to buy the best stuff in the game.
Right.
And I really hope that you can get like all the power ups and not be like, oh, you have to, if you pay $20 for this power up, it's the best one you can get. It's like, that's when it starts to get frustrating. in any game.
I agree.
That's what
So
I'm
as
But
of
it's
right
just,
now,
I mean, it is the players. So, and like Chaz said, the NFL, they make enough money, right? And this is the Players
Right.
Association. So I'm really just hoping that they're kind of like, you know what, let people just play the game.
right. Kind of to the point of the power ups. From what I saw, there's 150 different power ups, and like you said, if any of those are microtransactions, that's going to kind of put a bad taste in my mouth in terms of like, is this game going to be fun to play if I don't spend extra money? And another question is this game going to be full retail next gen $70?
Oh, yeah.
better
good
not.
point.
I exactly. If it is,
That could be
oh
tough.
my goodness, nobody will buy this
could be
game. In
tough.
my opinion, I don't think I'd pay $70 for
I
this
can't.
game.
I can't see this game being that way. I can't because it's not even NFL licensed. Look, it's 7-on-7. I mean, we'll get into it later. The people that they're showing on the game are going to be controversial to some people, you know, whether we like it or not. And it's just it can't be worth that much. And just because Dave brought show and tell, I have to bring show
there
and
it
tell.
is.
Let's go.
The NFL Street. See, that's what I remember. I remember NFL Street so much
Well, I
more
don't
than
know
I
if I have
remember
anything.
Blitz.
Yes.
Let me check my stats. I got the digital Xbox now, so everything's like online. Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm just older. That's all that means
But-
is I'm just older.
Well, he's getting that. A couple other things with it. So it is coming out October 10th, which is another. So October is a stacked month of games already, and so I think
Okay,
this
we got
this is just
something.
going to kind of fly under the radar.
Look at
through
this.
That. You
So
got
this
some. Let's
was-
see
What,
it.
what you got?
This was my midway, completely different game. This was Blitz, the league.
Oh yeah, the league.
Oh,
This
dude.
game
Oh yeah.
was-
Jeez.
They made sure that they had no association with the NFL at all. Because this game was so brutal.
That's cool.
Teams, no
No
current
current
players.
And if
Yeah.
you made the right tackle, you got like this X-ray of like bones breaking and like neck snapping,
Yep,
and
yep.
it was just
Yeah.
absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
And that's the one where they like did
Yes.
injections on the
And
sidelines,
if
right?
your
Where
player
they,
got
yeah.
hurt, you can inject them with whatever it was to get them back on the field fast.
yeah.
Steroid.
Yeah, it was.
It was terrible, but it was
much
so
fun to
good at the
play
same
when I'm,
time.
You know, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
This is the original Xbox.
Yeah.
Look at that. Original Xbox.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Oh,
Do you want to use the happy
So-
juice injection?
yeah.
Who's on the cover there,
this-
Adam? If I
this
remember
is
correctly, it's
Lawrence
Lawrence Taylor,
Yeah.
Barry Sanders,
yeah.
That's
Barry
so funny.
Sanders, right?
And I don't know who
That's so
the other one
cool.
is. I think it's just somebody made up. But either way.
That's
so
Whoever that guy
Here's
is.
my question about this game. Here's my question about this game that's coming out. What is it? Football?
Wild card football.
Wild card football?
wild card
Yeah.
football.
Wild card football. Who's this game for? I mean, is it for us, you know, get off our lawn, old football guys that are reminiscing about these late 90s, early 2000s game? Or is this for the young kids?
Maybe a mix. I don't know. I can see where it's going to be more towards the younger generation of sports players or people that are just tired of Madden. I think that could be a big people like I just want a new football game that's not Madden, that's kind of ruining the game or ruining such a franchise that I love. So I can see that kind of sense, but yeah, it's a good question.
I think the price is going to determine that.
Yeah, I definitely agree
Yeah.
with
So if this game drops and they're thinking we're gonna go
$70
$70 full
that. And
retail,
120 for the
Yeah.
special edition.
yeah, you
Yep.
get 120 and you'll get a 12-inch like little
Yeah, you get a
statue
little-
to come with it or
Little
something.
figure. We'll look on Chaz's wall
But yeah.
for the Funko Pop.
But
Well,
I think if it drops at $70, it's a clear statement that they're thinking we're gonna cash in on the older crowd, the crowd that has this money to spend.
I think that's I think if that's the case, they're looking for trouble because we're not going to get into like his past, but they very much focus on Colin Kaepernick in this game, and there's a lot of people that love him, and there's a lot of people that hate him. So he's a very divisive person, and there's a lot of people that love him and hate him just because of his off-field stuff. And whether you're on the other side of the fence, that's not necessarily good for a company to divide to divide a game like that amongst people. And like, if they go that $70 route, I mean,
divided even more.
it's gonna pull out. It's dividing
Yeah.
even more. The people that are gonna buy that are the older crowd, like even older than us, And it seems like a lot of people older than us are the ones that hate Colin Kaepernick even more for what he did, and it's just going to crash and burn miserably, I think.
Right.
I mean, I think honestly, I don't think there should be any discussion on price. I mean, this should be free to play with microtransactions, or this should be like a $29.99 drop.
Yeah.
I don't think this game if free to play games, they're all good and whatnot, but at some point they add too many microtransactions and then it becomes a pay to win. I think it needs to be one flat rate and sure, seasonal stuff, but no microtransactions. Kind of how Adam was saying. It's just like games just need to, like, if I could buy a game and just play it and content's being released on it, oh man, it's such more of a fun game to me, other than me like, oh shoot, I have to grind for the 1,000 coins to buy the battle pass for like Call of Duty, when I just want to play the game. I don't want all this extra stuff.
One of the best game that I've ever noticed. Now here we go. Nerds talking about gaming tangential. One of the best like games out there, and I know it's like almost cliche when it comes to like not paying to win, is Fortnite. It's free. There's nothing that you can do to pay to be better at that game.
That's
Trust
true.
me.
Chad puts a lot of time into Fortnite. Let me tell you that.
There's nothing you can pay
aside from the
Yeah,
cosmetics.
but
aside from the
they don't make
cosmetics.
you
That's all you
better
pay
at the
for,
game,
cosmetics.
though. And there's no
Right. No,
advantage to buying all that. That's just wanting to look
So
cool in the
they
game.
do it right.
Like, I mean,
yeah,
of course, I bought all
that's,
the Marvel skins.
I wasn't
you know,
saying that
it
as
is
a
what it
negative
is.
thing. Yeah, right.
I definitely want to look like Spider-Man swinging to the forest there, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
why wouldn't you?
obviously.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
They might even have. They might. So if these developers are smart, and I don't even know who it is, who's developing it, but like
It is Saber. It's the same group that did
Yeah.
2K Playgrounds, which I don't
I
think
figured.
they did microtransactions in that game. I played it for a little bit, but I can't remember off the top of my head if they had microtransactions. I think it was just a game release, and it I don't even think they had any content after the release. I think it's just release and go
I
play.
wonder if there's a way with this, kind of how like Fortnite does it. You know, I have a skin I bought for Fortnite that lets me get NFL jerseys. I wonder if there's a way that they could be able to like have NFL somehow leach into them with a microtransaction.
I think that's going to happen once 2026 or 2025 rolls around and EA doesn't have the rights to the NFL.
So here's the thing, and I don't know if everybody is aware of this, but technically there is a loophole where they could get away with this, because as of right now, EA owns the rights to the NFL for simulation football.
Yeah.
For non-simulation football, they don't own the rights, which
yeah.
non-simulation football is like one of those terms of like, well, how do you define non-simulation football? You know what I mean? So I honestly think they could get away with putting NFL content into it. Now, does that help it out at all? I think, of course, it's going to help it out if they can get some some real NFL content into this game. I do think it's going to help it out, especially with like the older player base. Like the younger player base, not so much. They're not going to care as much. But if they can kind of get a way to squeeze this NFL content into the game somehow, I do think it helps them out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
I don't know if they'll try
Yeah, I
touching
don't
that
think so
right now,
either. I
to
was
be
just about
honest.
to
I
say the
think
same
they're
thing.
going to just like, yeah. And from what it sounds like, kind of from the research I saw, is like 2K is really driving to try to
I think
get
they're
some of the
trying to get their
NFL
name
rights.
involved more so they can do that.
Yeah.
I watched a video that said the same thing, that if 2K gets involved, then they can have the rights to the teams and the logos and more NFL type stuff.
Mhm.
So I guess we'll have to see where that goes.
Yeah.
And there'll be no microtransactions in that
Yeah,
whatsoever.
absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Zero.
Oh my gosh. I bought 2K23 on Steam because it was like $10. I played it for an hour and a half and I was like, this is the most terrible 2K I ever played.
Awful.
It was slow, it was clunky, it was so bad. And I was like, I want my $10 back. Like it was that bad.
And I don't want to see that. So 2K football, left off at 2K5, fantastic game. A lot of people say it's the greatest games ever, and that's great. 2K23 is just it's a mess. You go in, you play online. Everybody knows how to glitch the system. You go into like the playground aspect or the blacktop aspect, and everybody's a 99. Everybody can make a 3-pointer from 15 feet behind the line with like you basically crawled inside of their skin to guard them.
Yeah.
And then there's just like that. Nothing has made me rage quit more in my life than that game. It's erased off my PlayStation right now. Like.
Yep.
I won't even touch it. Like, I hope 2K does not get into the football game. But
Yeah.
Madden does need a kick in the ass. What if this is the kick in the ass Madden needs? Like, if this sells well, there's a possibility that it kicks Madden in the ass to not give us the same old garbage.
I agree.
Right.
I do agree too. The worst part about it though is like I'm such a purist that like Madden is the closest thing to like real simulation football, and like I will go back to it. And I feel like they almost kind of know that. Like there's a certain player base that just wants like a very realistic football experience, and it's the closest thing that we're gonna get. And it's like they almost get a free pass. They just know like, hey, if you want Madden, like this is it. Like we didn't try super hard. We just slapped like some new rosters in there and like maybe one or two new mechanics, but like. If you want real football, this is it. This is all you got.
Yep.
Let me actually edit what you
frame.
said. You said if you want Madden. No, Dave. It's if you just want football because this is all you got.
Right.
That's it. There's
One
been
thing
nothing.
that does excite me about this
Sorry.
game as a fantasy player is that it is basically fantasy football because you get to you pick your team colors, you do all that, and then you pick your players. You pick who you want on your team and who's going to play with you. And that was really my favorite thing about when Madden came out with their Ultimate Team. Then, of course, that went to pay to win and changed the entire dynamic of that mode within Madden. But with this one, it is really cool because you get to mix and match all these players that probably will never play together. So, I'm looking forward to that part.
So I have a question
really
about
cool.
that then.
Obviously, we're all fantasy football players, and that's, you kind of get a real-life game that you can do that with, which is really cool for me. So,
do you guys think that it's going to be so kind of how you said it was very simplistic in terms of like the route running and stuff like that, different plays? Do you think that the stats are going to be like kind of very simple, or you think they're all going to have individualized stats, kind of like Madden does? You think it's going to be super simple?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but like given these games in the past, and even, you can even think of like some of these sims from back in the day, like backyard football and the games like that came out. It's gonna be like everyone's gonna have like 1 to 10. Your speed is an 8 or a 9. It's not gonna be like as micro as Madden where Tyreek Hill's a 99, but this guy's a 98. It's not gonna be that macro. It's gonna be like Tyreek Hill's a 10, this guy's a 8. Like. There's no way I can see them getting that into it.
I
also think it's really cool.
I was just
go
gonna say,
ahead.
I think with the stats that they're just gonna stay the same. Like they're always gonna be the same stats throughout the entirety of the game. Like Madden, when you play seasons, like guys get older, they slow down, they this, they that. And with this game, I think it's just gonna be we can play this anytime, 10 years from now, and it's gonna be the same. And no one's gonna be better than me, or regardless of like who's on my team, and where it's all going to be pretty equal, hopefully. So,
70-year-old Pat Mahomes is going to be
99. He's going to be the highest rated quarterback in the league.
Yeah, that's never going to go down for him. So,
also I wouldn't be surprised if they just don't have stats altogether.
That's another thought I was thinking that they may do. It's just like you get these players and they're all equal, and then what really helps you win the game is those power-ups.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how they incorporate power-ups. Does everybody have the ability to use the same power-ups? I saw that there was like 150 different ones. So is it Patrick Mahomes has this power-up, Travis Kelce has this power-up, or Derrick Henry has this power-up?
So
it's kind of like a special ability.
So what it looks like is it's cards that you pick before each like play, and then whoever like based on the cards you play is the power up you get, and then like that's what
I'm
it kind
okay
of
with
looks
that
like
concept. I enjoy that. Doesn't it keeps everybody kind of grounded a little bit within the game. So
I will say
I thought
it
Go
does.
ahead, Dave.
I will say it does look like they went to they put some consideration into these wild card power ups at least, So from everything that I've found, it's a 7-on-7, and basically what you're gonna do is before the game you'll draw 5 cards from your card deck, and those are the 5 power-ups that you can use during the game. And then also your team is going to be equipped with an energy meter, and based on the wild cards that you use, each one based on how powerful of a move it is will have an effect on your energy meter. So it's like their way of stopping people from spamming these.
That's a good way to balance it.
Yeah, like you really have to kind of think about when the best time to use it is, instead of just like, because it would be stupid if you're trying to play and like every play your quarterback is just covered in electricity, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think the way they're going to do this is you are going to have to level up before you unlock certain cards for your deck. I don't think you're going to be able to get all 150 from the beginning.
I would hope so, that you actually have to play the game and have some time.
And
there's challenges you have to complete to get this power up or something along those lines.
So that just makes me question. That makes me question. It makes it seem like they are going to have some type of microtransaction at some point. Because are they going to have a season where, like, okay, you level up the season, you get all the power-ups are in it, but now you buy the next season, you'll get these power-ups. Yeah. Oh, great.
I know how much
love
we
it.
Battle Passes
Love the Battle
games.
Pass. So, yeah. So,
Yeah. Well, either way.
overall, I think I am excited for this game because it's something different than Madden. The last Madden I played was when they called it Madden 25. Like, when was that? Like 10 years ago? 2014? That's so that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
I was an avid Madden player. I
was
basically got Madden every single year, and the last year was the last year where I was like, you know what?
Wow.
I'm good. I'm good on Madden.
I'm good. Okay.
But you're not going to buy this year's.
I'm going to buy this year's just because Mr. Josh Allen has got the cover spot.
With the bad Photoshop on the face mask, you can see that. That was like a big old meme. No, it's nothing against Josh Allen. It's just the Madden team did a terrible job of putting the cover together.
Listen, the Madden team usually does a terrible job putting the game together. Let's not worry about the cover.
And you got to remember, Adam, there's going to be like a microtransaction to cover up that photo.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's going to be in one of the patches that you could buy for 25 cents.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's a printable file that you have to put into your case. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, like I'm on the fence. I don't know if I'm excited for this game. I don't know if I'm not excited for this game. It's 100% going to come down to price, and it's most likely going to be a game that, if I can get it for $20-$30, sure, I'll pick it up. And it'll be a fun game that I can play, like when my brother comes over and we can just, shoot the shit,
something
and I can break his balls a little bit.
70-inch TV and be like, yeah, all right, we're gonna play some football here.
Yeah, right.
It's a weird time to come out. It's coming out after the season starts, after Madden starts.
October 10th.
I think if they were smart, they should have beat Madden to the punch. They should have got it out like 2 weeks before Madden, because people who are gearing up waiting for Madden would be like, ah, shit, this is only hopefully $30. I'll buy this now and then get Madden when it comes out.
Speaking of that, that's another problem, because if you remember when 2K5 came out, it was $19.99, and Madden was like, whoa, we have to buy this. They cannot use it. We are the only ones that are producing football games, and then we're jacking our prices back up to $50 at the time. So I hope that doesn't happen with this one. If that's the case, they're just doomed.
Well, there's a chance they're buried, because by the time this comes out, we're into week 5 of the NFL season.
Middle of October. Middle of October.
It's weird.
It is a weird time.
And lots of other games coming out, too.
It's not Christmas time yet.
The holiday season is approaching at that time, and I mean, I guess if you want to look at it that way, that's a good timeline, but I agree with Chaz. Like, why would you do that before Madden or after Madden comes out? I mean, it's crazy to me.
Or maybe they're like banking on Madden sucking so bad. They're like, let's try our game.
Buffalo here, we're going to be this is the greatest Madden ever. Just because Josh Allen's on the cover makes it so much better.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
I 100% agree with Chaz on this. I mean, they should have beaten Madden to the punch, or I feel like they should almost delay, right? So if they beat Madden to the punch, great. if they don't beat Madden to the punch, why don't you delay it until
The
like
Madden sales are kind of
know,
lower.
yeah, why don't you delay it until like December? Like we're getting into like real football playoff season, right? Like people are still there's still the excitement around football, but like the people that bought Madden in August have already completed their first season. They've won their Super Bowl. Like the game's kind of dead for them, and it's like, hey, maybe I'll get in on like this new thing. Like football's still hot. Like let me get on this new thing. You know what I mean? It seems like such a terrible time for a drop.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when I heard
Middle
it was
October.
Middle October. You're right. Good call.
Yeah. Yeah. But we'll see how it does. Overall, I'm going to get it. This is a game that I like, this kind of style of a game, only because, like I said, I haven't played Madden in 10 years now.
10,
so
Yeah, like I said, it's a tough
but-
one for me. It's the excitement is it wants to be there, but at the same time, I'm just, oh man, do I want to pay $70 for a game? I don't do that now. You know, I have Xbox. I have
Sales.
Xbox Game Pass that I just play all kinds of games. And
I'm gonna say this: if it comes out at $70, I'm not buying it. I'm gonna wait till it's on sale. I'm not buying it.
I'll
at
ask for it
$70.
for Christmas.
It
for
doesn't
somebody.
look like, yeah, it doesn't look like a $70 game. It's gonna be on PlayStation for sale halfway to some point, and it's probably gonna be part of PlayStation Plus for free at some point. So like,
Yeah.
if it's $70, it will not be on my console day one. No chance.
That's the exact vibe that I had. If you know, like I said, if I can get this for $20, $30, okay, $70 release in the middle of October, I just got other stuff. I got other stuff on my mind. I'm not spending $70 on this game.
Like
So-
trying to beat me in fantasy football someday.
Exactly.
Wait,
Exactly.
show him the belt.
And the belt. I was gonna bring the belt out.
on.
But I didn't.
Unbelievable.
Wow. He's gonna dog
He
me.
was
That's
going
so
to.
Dave
right
might
on
be
your
joining
own
us for the-
podcast, Dave. How does that make you feel? He's going to make you feel bad on your own podcast.
We agreed that he wasn't gonna bring it up, and he brought it up anyway.
I deal with it.
My lackluster
I deal
fantasy
with it
season.
every single week.
Just
so
remember,
funny.
for everyone that doesn't know me, this is Chaz from the Fantasy Football Bros podcast, and
There we go.
that's it. Don't worry about it.
That's funny.
That's funny, but
All
yeah.
right.
All right, guys. So yeah, I think we're all kind of on the same page on this one. Unfortunately, this game, while it looks cool, is going to be very dependent on price, on whether it's going to be good or not. But we decided we can't have the Fantasy Football Bros on this podcast without doing some type of draft. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be drafting the greatest sports titles of all time. Let's go.
Nice.
Oh, wait, I don't have. I should have music for this. How about this?
Oh god.
That's awesome.
Adam's got the let's go. I
Yeah.
got the random applause. Let's see how many radio sound effects we can throw into this episode.
Oh,
Chaz
dude,
has
you
a
know I've
whole
got it.
board of sound bites that we use for our podcast.
Yep.
I've got the new second string running back of the New York Jets. There's that one.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
But of
All
course,
right.
I've got.
Where's your favorite Bumbles? Jamal Williams.
Oh, well, yeah, we got Jamal Williams. We got.
Didn't I ever tell you about Bumbles?
Chaz.
awesome.
Chaz has
That's awesome.
some words for Jamal Williams last year.
Ooh.
Chaz puts our soundboard to shame. But,
It's
Oh,
fun.
we
I
have
love
fun with it. We have fun with it.
You have to. You have to.
So basically, before we get into our draft, wild card football. This is what we got for you. That's about it. I wouldn't
Oh,
go that far.
man.
Yet. I wouldn't go that far yet.
Yeah. All right, Adam, kick us off. Best or ultimate draft of best sports game titles.
Real
Let's go.
quick. Let's run through real quick the rules
Rules.
here. So
Yep.
basically, what we're going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, we will be drafting the greatest sports titles of all time. This is any sports title that you want. The basic thing is we're not going to go so micro as to saying like, oh, I'm drafting Madden 2005. Like, if you take Madden, you take the whole Madden franchise. And the way that this is going to work is we're going to do a little Let's Talk Nerdy versus Fantasy Football Bros.
Chaz, are we ready?
So, At the end of this, ladies and gentlemen, please drop down in the comments who you think won on the best sports draft of all time. And if you guys want to do Let's Talk Nerdy, just so that I finally beat Chaz in fantasy something, I would love you guys very, very much.
That would be a first for you, Dave, to beat Chaz in a draft.
Dave, are we going to win fantasy football this year?
Nah, bro. That was straight from the fantasy
All
football bros right there.
That's funny.
All right, Adam, first overall pick. What you got?
Man, this
Big one.
is
It's a big one. It's a big one.
Very, very hard pick. I was really hoping Chaz was going to take it first, but I am going to go with something that I loved playing on the Super Nintendo. I am going to take NBA Jam.
Ooh.
I am taking NBA Jam.
Oh,
Number one overall.
You did.
That's good.
And
That's a
that
good.
was one of my favorite
you
games
just stole-
of all time.
You just stole Adam's first pick. I can see Adam's
How
face.
did you
Yes,
know,
that was
Adam?
his first
Man,
pick.
Adam and Adam must have the
Adam
same
connection.
thought.
Maybe
That's
it should
funny.
be the Adams person. Chad,
Dang
really.
it.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dang it. Because, oh, man.
Adam
I-
on Adam
maybe.
Crime?
Maybe.
Whoa.
Wow.
But dang it. That's funny because, like, yeah, NBA Jam, and the fact that they released it on your
Yes.
phone. Oh, in high school, and I was playing on the bus for like on road trips between sports. Man, people are like,
Nope,
can I play?
this is
Nope.
for me.
Nope.
Sorry, I'm
And
playing.
I also
Yeah,
love
that's
the
so
Tournament
funny.
Edition, the one where you can do the cheat codes. You get like the big heads or like the tiny bodies and
Yep,
like spinning
yep.
around the court and everything. Absolutely hysterical.
What team did everyone roll with?
Oh, everybody
Bulls.
was
That's so
Chicago.
cool.
Come on. I was actually
Everybody.
personally,
Yep,
I was actually
yep.
a Hornets fan during the game. So when I used to play with the Hornets.
Let's go, dude.
I
had
played with the
Hornets
Magic quite a
starter
bit.
So did
jacket.
I. So did I.
That's
For
so
some
cool.
reason, I ran with the 76ers. No idea why. I used to fuck people up with Clarence Weatherspoon. Whoever that is, I used to fuck them up with him.
Yes, number one
All right,
overall.
all right.
NBA
So I'm
Jam
going
off the
next?
list.
I'm
Let's
sorry,
go.
it
Okay.
sounds like a war zone out here, everybody. It's the 4th of July.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can't hear it. I can hear it.
I didn't know if you guys could hear it on my end, but it's
I can hear it on
yeah,
my
it's like a
window
war
when
zone
I'm
outside right
hoping
now.
The mic doesn't pick it up, so perfect.
I think we're good. I haven't heard anything yet. So, but all right. So that means my pick for my number one pick, or our number one pick, Dave.
Yep, do it up.
All right, I might as well keep it in the NBA, and we'll go with NBA Street.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
keep it in the NBA.
It's only fair if they take NBA Street, we got or NBA Jams, we got to go NBA Street.
yeah, dude. Volume 2 was one of the best ones too. I also really loved it on GameCube, and you could have Mario as part of the team.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun.
That was
NBA
funny.
Street. Yeah, that was good. That's a good one.
That's
I-
a solid pick.
Personally, would take NBA Street Volume 2 over Jam. Adam made the choice. Great choice still. But NBA Street Volume 2, you could pick and choose between like the street players and the NBA players.
Yeah.
And I used to roll out there with like I think it was Dirk Nowitzki and Kobe Bryant and some other dude, and just like mess people up. Oh no,
Yeah,
Larry
that's so
Bird.
fun.
That's what it was. Larry
Yeah,
Bird.
that's so cool.
The old guy.
Yeah, you could get the legends.
It was such. I love. Like I packed away all of my games. Like about 800 games packed up in my spare room right now. I grabbed these two right off my shelf, NBA Street and NFL Street, because I love them still, and I'll still throw them on. So
Great games.
good
That's
pick,
so
Adam.
cool.
Good
Great
pick.
games.
Both Adams.
Both Adams, great picks. All right,
go.
Chaz, what you got? First pick.
Okay, so this is going to be controversial, but that's what I
Chaz is
do.
Very controversial.
Okay, let's hear it.
I was waiting for it.
Some people might not say that this is a sport, but I'm calling it a sport, and it's one of the greatest games of all time. And I'm going with WWF No Mercy.
Let's go.
Going
Putting it on the
snap.
squad. WWF No
snap.
Mercy was my entire teenage
was
years.
That was N64, right? N64.
Yeah,
was
it's N64.
Wow.
Released in
That's crazy.
2000. That game, still to this day, AEW put out a game just this week, and they're literally saying, we hired the developers of WWF No Mercy from 23 years ago to try
That's
to
crazy.
recreate the love that everybody has from this game from day one. So, yes, WWF No Mercy,
I like
give
it.
me
We're
that.
off to a hot start.
That's a
Chaz.
good one.
I love that. We're off to a hot start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a solid. That's
Dave,
a
what
solid
do you
pick.
got?
I actually had WWF.
That's
WWF No Mercy
Nice.
on my list.
Wow.
And I just loved. I don't know if you guys remember. Do you guys remember how to do the special moves in that
You
game?
just flicked up the stick.
Yeah, all you would have to do to do that's what I love so much about it. The only thing you had to do for N64 was to just grab them with the Z trigger and flick the stick up once, and it would like power bomb, and it's just like I'm the greatest at video games.
And I loved it. You create your player. I had my long hair at the time, my little goatee. I had a Degeneration X jersey on. I used to do the suck it, but then I did the Undertaker thing as well.
Yep.
Loved it, man.
Let's go.
That's
okay.
awesome.
All right. So my first overall pick. I think Adam's gonna agree with me on this one. So I think you're gonna like this one, buddy. With my first overall pick, I'm going MLB The Show.
Oh, nice.
I love MLB The Show. I don't know what it is, but like there's something about that game where I was just like, that's the first time that I felt like actually creating a character in the game was like worth it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I am terrible at baseball games now. Like The Show,
This-
it just like give me like back in the day baseball games when it was just easy. You just stand.
You tap X.
A or you swing. It's either a swing or a bunt, and,
Yep.
and then I can run the bases, and I'm good. Now
Well,
I
if you're
gotta
creating your own
line
player,
up the
Dave, what
little box
position?
that goes on the screen where my pitch is, and I actually
Yep.
I tried real quick. Some buddies of mine were like, "Oh, The Show, the new one that came out, 23, was on like Game Pass and everything." And like, "Oh, we want to start like a league." I'm like, "All right, I'll download it. I'll try it." Deleted it. I could not get it down. I actually put in the settings that they only throw strikes, so I can just hammer home runs the entire time. But it got boring, and I'm like, I am no good at this game, and I know these guys are going to kill it, and I'm just out. but it is.
Yeah,
a good
that's
thing.
funny
It
you
is a
say
fun
that.
game to
So,
That's fun.
also like so kind of off that, you can set it as an AI like slider. So if you do well, it increases the difficulty. After 3 games for me, it was max difficulty. I was like, well, like I felt like it was easy, and like I'm not very good at sports games, but like I was like, why is this so easy? Like I'm bombing home runs, and I'm like a 50 overall like MLB The Show player, but that's beyond the point.
Yeah.
pick,
Chaz's question here. I actually, so when I do MLB The Show, I do 2 characters, and I always do that because I love pitching. So I love being a pitcher.
Right?
Yeah, one's a pitcher and one's a shortstop because I love pitching, but the pitching stats, like the hitting stats for your pitcher, always suck, and it's impossible to level them up. And sometimes I just want to get out there and crank home runs, so I'll have two characters.
Well, I mean, or you could just be Shohei Ohtani.
You could be Otani. Yeah, I don't know.
The show doesn't allow that yet.
The show doesn't allow it yet. He is defying everything.
He is MLB.
He's defying everything that is baseball.
I find it funny that you just said it the way you said it, because when I create a player, I create 2 players, a pitcher and a second baseman. And the reason I do that is because there's like 2 good second basemen in all of baseball. So I'll make my guy the second baseman just so he's the best in the league within like a year and a half.
Yep. Easy money. Easy money.
I
I'm
always
going the
do-
show.
Who's your favorite MLB?
I do
team?
center and shortstop.
Dude, I'm Yankees.
Yankee
Go
guy.
Yankees. I know,
What about you,
I
Adam?
know, I know.
Are you a baseball guy?
I'm not a huge baseball guy, but like I feel like I get in trouble by my wife if I say I'm
All
not
right,
a Cardinals
that's okay. I
fan,
like
so I'm a
it.
Cardinals fan.
I like that.
Cardinals is a good pick.
Yeah.
I don't have one, but we are the farm team in Buffalo to
The Blue Jays.
the Toronto Blue Jays. So
I
cool,
personally,
I follow
I
players.
used to watch baseball as a kid. I used to play as a kid, and then I kind of stopped playing and stopped following it once the Turners sold the Braves because they were on TBS all the time. So as a kid, I can flip through the stations and just watch a Braves game. I am an Atlanta Braves fan.
Yep.
I'm starting to get into it a little bit more now, but I got a long way to go. I couldn't even tell you who's in the league anymore.
That's all
All
right.
I know is that
Adam,
Yeah,
you'll
me
Ohtani is the best player in baseball. Literally ever.
ever.
But I agree with you guys. It's fun when sometimes when the Blue Jays guys get injured, they got to go to our farm team here in Buffalo on the Bisons or the Bisons, however you want to say it, wherever you're from. I don't know. I love watching major league players come through there every once in a while. So
That's pretty cool.
Adam, you'll actually love this. My first game that I ever went to was in Toronto to see the Blue Jays play the Braves, and the first person that I ever saw hit a home run in my entire life was Chipper Jones.
I love Chipper Jones. Actually, I gotta see it. I have it here. I have a Chipper Jones card somewhere.
Let's go.
Somewhere in here. If I can.
That shows my age, right?
I know that was a great era of baseball. To be honest, I can't find it. I'm not gonna search for it.
We got through round one with NBA Jam, NBA Street, WWE No Mercy, and MLB The Show.
I like it.
Dope.
So
All
are we doing a snake
Adam,
or is it coming back?
next pick.
Snake.
Yeah, we're doing snake.
Coming right back
So
to you.
If we're doing a snake, then it goes back to Dave for another one, right?
Yep.
Or do you want me to go?
Yeah, wait,
Just keep going in a circle.
Yeah, just
go ahead,
cycle it
Dave.
around. Yeah, it's like
All right.
it around.
Now, my second pick, and I am going to go with NHL '94. I love NHL '94. Just the graphics were just so perfect at the time, and just playing NHL '94 was just one of my favorite things ever. So, number 2, NHL
We're gonna give you the whole NHL franchise, but
Yeah.
94 is tasty.
Yeah.
That's the
a
one
good
where you
one.
could check them
Yes.
against the board and make their heads
Yeah.
bleed.
NHL '94 was awesome. It was a great game, and I do prefer NHL over Madden nowadays. Just a preference.
Oh,
just,
I agree.
Just Madden's just.
I think the mechanics in it is so much
NHL
better
and
too.
the way that they've upgraded, and you can use the joysticks to deke and shoot and all that. And it's just a great mechanic, and I love it.
Love it.
So
Yeah,
Yep.
hope that's
a
okay
solid
with you,
pick.
Chaz. I'm taking the NHL franchise.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
All right.
Adam, what you got for us?
Well, it's funny that I took the NBA Street. I'm taking NFL Street.
Yeah,
I saw that one coming from a mile away.
Yeah. I love those. Yeah, they're so fun, man. But I guess there's no explanation needed. It's the same as the NBA Street.
we
essentially,
touched on it. That's a solid pick.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Chaz, what'd you got?
I have a sleeper pick, but I'm going to save it for my third round pick. Hopefully, that's going to steal the whole draft. Okay.
Just
Okay.
I mean,
Hopefully, I can get it later. We'll see.
Hopefully.
But just because it's still floating around, I'm going to take the game we talked about the most today and take Madden. And I'm going to specifically focus that on Madden 2004 with Michael Vick on the cover.
Yep.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah, Michael Vick, Madden 2004, incredible, unstoppable. That game, I loved it to death. So, yeah. So, Madden, I mean, it's got to be on somebody's team. I would gladly bring it onto
And being
my
the fantasy football
I'm
pros,
All
why
right.
not have another football game?
team. Why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
Right.
Why not?
I'm honestly surprised it made it this long. If we're
Right.
gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, this is gonna be hard to follow up then, and I don't know if everybody's gonna love this. And say what you will about the man, but the game was incredible, and I'm gonna take Tiger Woods. I love Tiger Woods franchise,
Love it.
dude.
Same.
love it.
I love
Love it.
Tiger Woods.
Adam
I
hates
love
it. Adam hates
I
it.
love it. I love it.
Do you-
Dave, I'm on your side. I love it.
Do
It's
you
such a
love
good
it?
pick. I love it.
Okay,
Good
all right,
choice.
I was
Good
there.
choice.
Dude, I love Tiger Woods, man. Me and my boys would skip school to play Tiger Woods. Like, it's just such a chill game. And like you guys know, I love that nonstop, run it in. I'm gonna stab some crap, like get nasty action. But I also just love me a good chill game. And there's nothing more chill than just shooting 18 holes on Tiger Woods. You're just like, it's
Unless you're not good at it.
unless you're not good at it, but you know,
It's not very chill.
it's chill. I'm taking it. Tiger Woods. Let's do it.
I like
Love
it.
it.
I like it.
It's funny. Like I remember I was working at. It must have been Tiger Woods 05. I remember I was working at Sears, and literally like me and 3 of the boys from the hardware department would come to my mom's house after and all play Tiger Woods and pass the controller around.
Yep.
Loved it. Great pick.
Good times.
Good
Good
pick.
times.
Good pick.
All right, Adam, we are back. Third and final pick. What you got for us?
Third pick. This is a tough one. Now, I'm going to go with Wii Sports because there was
That's it. That was
a
my pick.
plethora
Dang.
of games to play, and who did not love Wii Bowling? Sitting there in front of your TV, just chucking the controller and getting strikes
Yeah.
and just beating everybody around. Yeah, I love Wii Sports. It was a great idea, and I love
That is a
the
good pick.
motion sensor aspect of it, that you were actually in it. They had bowling, baseball, tennis. It was just perfect.
That was my third
I think-
pick.
That was my wild.
Dude, I'm so
That's funny. That's funny. That's probably on all of our lists. All right, well, I had a good backup pick to that. And honestly, I don't know if this is going to be considered a sports game, but I'm considering it a sports game and just the franchise in general.
Oh,
Mr.
that was
Tony
on my
Hawk.
list. I was debating
Nice.
between that one. Actually, I should
Yeah.
have taken
I
that with
thought,
my
like-
second pick, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's so good.
So
Tony
good.
Hawk Underground.
So
Oh
good.
my goodness.
That was on my
So
list too. That was on
Cool,
was
cool.
on my list too.
I loved
dude, this is
creating
a
my
good-
skater and just skating around the worlds and,
Yep.
and interacting with like the pro skaters at the time. Oh, it's just absolutely brilliant pick.
So
Did
good.
we like the remake?
I
remake?
liked
Oh,
the
that's pretty good.
remake.
Yeah.
You didn't like the remake?
No, I did.
I did.
Chaz, you
a
didn't
little
like it?
bit. I did, but it was like that same thing because it's so arcadey that I played it for a couple weeks and then got over it quickly. But it
You
was
know which
it
one
was
was really arcadey was the one that released on the PS4 and Xbox One after like a long stint. That one was awful. But
was that 5?
Something like
I
that.
think so. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Hawk was really fun. The problem was like once people kind of figured out a way to be so good at the game, like they broke it. Like
Yes.
that was annoying. You know what I'm talking about? Like the people that are so good at the game. Is that you? You're the dude that can do like revert manual and do one trick for 2 minutes, and you're just like, okay, well, there's no chance of me
Right.
winning this game right now.
I don't want to say it, but I want to say it.
You are online revert manual 2-minute
Oh,
trick guy,
yeah.
aren't you? Oh
Yep.
no.
Just wait. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Riders Republic, the Ubisoft
was it-
game.
Oh yeah, dude,
Is
that
like
game's
the mountain
sick.
So-
biking game? Right.
Yeah,
So-
mountain biking,
okay,
snowboarding,
yeah.
a whole bunch of other games. They're adding skateboarding.
They are.
And I've been playing BMX of it, and it's the same thing. I'm crushing BMX to these people. I'm like beating them by 500,000 points, and like I just started, and they're like, "What the heck?"
love
So
that.
I'm excited. I love it. So excited
Nice.
for skateboard to come out.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
okay. Well, since Adam took my two,
I'm
took
sorry.
my
We're on
Wii
the same
Sports
team
pick,
though, so it doesn't matter.
That's right.
Yeah,
and
it
I
doesn't
think
matter.
that Wii Sports, honestly, guys, is the highest selling sports video game of all time.
Oh, it's
think that's-
it's
that's
incredible. It's incredible. Yeah.
Because the Wii, I think the Wii's like the second highest selling console of all time, and every single Wii
Yeah,
had
it came
Wii
with
Sports.
it. Yeah, I was just
So-
gonna say that was one of the games. That was the selling
Consider
point
that.
for me on the Wii. Is it came with Wii Sports, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yep. But this is what I'm going to go with, and we're going to get a little different flavor here. And like I was going to take something, but I'm just going to leave it there. I might mention it later, but we're going to go with a quasi racing game. All right, and this could be wrong, but the idea is to win the race. And I'm going to go back in the day, back in the '90s. Give me some road
Yes.
rash. Baby.
Let's
Yes, I
go,
love
dude.
I
Road
want
rash.
road rash. I
Road
want
Rash
to
is
pull up
sick.
next to somebody and hit him with the fucking pipe, like just really stiff like this, and just
Yes.
knock them off. And I love
That's
it.
awesome.
I want road rash.
Oh, that was a good
Great
game.
Yeah,
choice.
that was a
Great
good
I had to
game.
think about what it was for a little bit until you said it. That's awesome.
Motorcycle racing at its
Absolutely.
dirtiest.
Yeah.
Yep, that's so good.
Oh,
All right,
dude.
Dave,
All
close
right.
it out. You better hit us with
I
a
know.
banger.
I gotta hit it with a banger. I really do gotta hit it with a banger right now. This is gonna be so
We got him
hard.
speechless, Chaz. We got him speechless.
Because I need a banger right now. I have so many on my list, and I know I gotta pull one out. All right, I'm gonna do it. Oh, dude, this is tough. Okay, I'm going with Mario Kart. We need a racer. What?
road rash.
Adam,
I just don't know if it's a sports game.
it's a
I don't
racing
know.
game.
Barely.
How is that not a racing game?
All right,
I would
well,
consider it
I
a
love it,
racing
Dave.
game. I do.
Would
love
you
Mario.
would you
All right.
consider it a
I
sports
do.
game? Would you consider it a sports game?
I would.
Yeah,
It's a racing
it's
game
a racing
for
game.
sure.
You're
The,
right.
the whole idea is to race
Okay.
karts, and yeah.
I mean, I took
Yeah.
road rash, so I can't.
Okay, we'll go with it.
I felt like we needed a racing game.
I
Dude,
think
we
that was a
lost.
panic
We
pick.
fucking
from
lost
Dave.
this
I
draft.
think that was a panic pick from Dave.
It was.
Let's go.
You coulda-
Fantasy
coulda went with,
football
like-
bros, come on, and we sweep the draft.
I think so.
I thought
Let's
we needed a
go.
racing game. Adam, I'm sorry.
Not Mario Kart.
Let's
Out of all the
go.
racing games you do pick, you pick Mario Kart.
I love Mario Kart.
I do too, but I can't say it's not a sports game in my opinion.
You could have took Tecmo Super Bowl.
I could have taken
I
Tecmo
had
Super
that on
Bowl.
my list, actually.
I will.
You could have took Mike
I had that
Tyson's
on my
Punch
list
Out.
as well.
I had Fight Night
Fight
on
Night
my
was on
list
my list.
as Fight Night as my boxing game.
I was
I also-
pondering WWE 2K, but I already took No Mercy. So
Yeah, WWE in general. Okay, actually, Dave, my last sleeper pick was going to be Mario Baseball.
Listen,
so
I
I'll
had
let
one
you
on
have
my.
Mario
I
Kart.
had Mario Tennis written down. I was gonna take Mario Tennis. I love Mario Tennis. It was so good. And
I had Mario Tennis
Golf.
too.
Those two were
Mario
amazing.
Golf is awesome.
Mario
Yes.
Golf
Yeah.
and Mario
Good,
Tennis.
good sports.
Yeah.
Good games
Good,
in general.
absolutely.
good games. Well, let us know down in the comments who won this draft.
I don't think we need the comments at this point.
Just so you guys know.
Let's go. Let's go.
That's all right. That's all right.
Real quick, I want to throw some shout outs. I want to throw some shout outs to SSX Tricky as
Tricky,
yeah,
yep.
sweet.
That was one.
Snowboarding game. Absolutely love that game.
Ooh, I got one more.
Shout out for
That's
FIFA.
easy.
Shout out for FIFA. Me and the boys had a lot of good times on FIFA. I'm not really a soccer fan, but something
Boring.
about playing it is better. I love.
If
me
I'm
some
taking a
FIFA.
soccer game,
and Wave
I'm
Race.
taking Rocket League. I'm sorry.
That works.
Yeah, okay.
It blends.
NCAA football.
There you go.
So Nobody
NCAA
picked
was
that.
awesome
Yeah.
because
Those were
when
the
you played
best.
NCAA, you could import your team into Madden back in the early
Yep.
2000s. That was awesome.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm surprised nobody took
That was a
that. That
good
was
one.
such a good one.
Well, here's a fun shout out for a game
Set
I
it-
played back in the day. I think it only came out for 2 years. It was EA Sports College World Series Baseball, and they used
Really?
to have all the college team with the metal bats and everything. And just for some reason, I absolutely love that game, and it totally had all this like emo soundtrack, and it got me into all these bands like Silverstein and Bayside bands that are tattooed on my body to this day. So I give College World Series
If
Baseball.
we're gonna
a
talk
shout out.
baseball
That's
games,
so funny.
I have to shout out Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball, and I
Yup.
absolutely loved that game. And the animations in that game were awesome. When somebody struck out, they would turn to the camera, like or the point of view of where you were looking, and they would snap their bat over their knee. And, oh, come on! It was awesome. That was a great game.
Yeah.
Ooh,
solid
another
game.
one. There's a fighting game. I can't remember what it's called. Def Jam.
Yes.
You guys ever play that?
Oh, Def Jam
Jam, the
Vendetta.
wrestling.
Oh
Was
my-
Yeah.
awesome. That's a
Dang.
good. I
Oh,
forgot about
those
that
are-
game.
That's selling on PS2 for about $100 right now. If you
Really?
have it. Yeah. I was
That's
a big
crazy.
retro game collector. There was a cool game I played. I believe it was on the original Xbox, maybe on PlayStation 2. It was called Death Row, and it was kind of like handball, but like at the same time, you can beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah.
It was this
That's awesome.
weird ass game. It was a cool game.
Yeah.
For
That's
the
awesome.
for the
So
for the
many good
NES,
games.
There was a game. It was Super Dodgeball. You guys remember that game?
I remember
my
Super
God, It
Dodgeball.
was just 8-bit. Every character, like if you did the dash throw, they had like a special throw that they did. Some of the balls went invisible. One was just a absolute missile. That was one of the most fun games. And I have a Nintendo Switch, and they have like all the retro games on there that you can play, and that's one of them. And
Yeah.
I play that constantly. I love that game.
Yeah. No, it's a
There's so
solid
many good
game.
games.
We
There's so
could
many
have
good
did
sport
a
games that are
20
like-
round draft for this. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
We really
Yeah.
could have. Cruising USA. Quick shout out for Cruising USA. I love me some
yeah.
Cruising USA.
That would have
Yeah.
been a better racing pick than
Hey,
Mario Kart.
yeah.
It would have, yeah, it would have. That was a full-on panic pick. It was a full-on panic pick, and
Gran
just
Turismo, Need
Literally.
for Speed.
Yeah,
like,
alright,
come on, man.
all right.
Actually, my favorite racing game, and this might be on the unknown for you guys, Sega Saturn Daytona USA.
I remember
I saw
Daytona
that. Oh,
USA.
Such a cool game.
That was a cool arcade game too. That was the
Yeah.
first game that I ever played where it had like the lineup of like 20 machines that everybody could all race at one time. Dude, that was sick. Yeah, I remember that.
awesome.
Great game.
Yeah, and just real quick, let's do real quick, ladies and gentlemen, a moment of silence for all of the shattered TV screens caused by Wii
Yes.
Sports, since we decided to put it on our a moment of
Yes.
silence for all the shattered screens.
That's a good
yeah,
pick, though.
amazing. Boom, my dudes, this was amazing. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on, man. I
We
really appreciate you guys.
having us on, man, for sure.
Yeah,
I like
It
how
was
Adam
super
said
fun.
having me. I mean,
was
us.
getting.
I mean,
Well, I assumed you were going to talk for yourself because you always do. So
Anytime, this is OPP, other people's podcast. So, we got to share the love around here. So, like, I'm hoping Dave comes and joins us tomorrow on ours if he has the time. So
we got some time. We're gonna make that work. But please, for the listeners, please shout out the podcast. Let them know where they can find you guys.
All right, guys, you can find us on any major podcast platform and YouTube, and now we just got on TikTok. You can find us at Fantasy Football Bros Podcast anywhere. That's Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.
Let's go, guys. Make sure to check them out. Awesome fantasy advice. As you guys can tell, these guys are absolutely amazing, and just honestly amazing to listen to. I've listened to a lot of fantasy podcasts, and like they said, it's a lot of numbers, it's a lot of nonsense. It's fun to listen to these guys talk. So please check them out.
Give you stats from 20 years ago. Give you players in the draft. It's crazy. We love it.
That's cool.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks again, guys. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, go check them out. Love you guys. Thank you.
It.
Big thanks to the guys at the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. Again, guys, thank you so much for coming on. If you guys haven't checked them out, please check them out. We'll leave a link down below in the description. Please check them out. Amazing having you guys on. Super appreciate it. Thank you. Love you guys very much. All right, my dudes, the next topic for discussion. Adam, hit me with what you got.
XDefiant.
I know
Ubisoft's first-person shooter.
Look at that smile. Look at the smile. Look at the smile. Do we have the trailer?
We have the trailer. So, I don't know if many of you know this game. It's a first-person, free-to-play first-person shooter by Ubisoft. It has had a few betas, which I've played in 2 of them. But let's pull up the gameplay trailer so you guys know what we're talking about if you've not played or heard of it.
Have you signed a release that says you cannot
It is open NDA. No NDA.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. There's another game I've been playing that I cannot do that. So
I don't want Adam to get in trouble with Ubisoft.
Yeah, our whole podcast gets sued.
The whole podcast.
What you're seeing here is, like I said, first-person shooter, 6v6, almost like a Black Ops 3 and 2 vibe of Call of Duty.
That's what I was getting. That's the vibe I was getting on it.
It has IPs of other Ubisoft games, so Far Cry, Watch Dogs, Splinter Cell's in there, Division. And it just has a very smooth play to it and tons of weapons, which we'll talk more about some of those. But it looks good, especially for Ubisoft in terms of like first-person shooters.
You guys know I'm not a big first-person shooter guy. This looks fun. Like this looks like a lot of fun. And I think one of the major things, and guys, if you're just listening on the podcast or on the Spotify, they're kind of on the trailer. They're running through a lot of the maps. The map designs are so cool. Like I love the camp or the fair kind of thing, and like the there was one where it's like a plane that's been knocked down. It's like the maps themselves are really cool. That's because that's the thing for me, right? Is like I don't really play a lot of FPS, but I watch, a lot of my friends, play FPS, and I watch it a lot and stuff like that. And just sometimes, like the Call of Duties and stuff, like the maps are so boring. And it's just, I'm just like, dude, you could have thrown anything in here, and I feel like XDefiant did that. And like the maps look really, really cool.
And I am with you 100%. And the cool thing, so like I said, with the beta and everything, they actually talked more about this at their Ubisoft Forward event and kind of going off your thing with the maps at launch. And this is like, they are promising this is going to be 100% free to play, no buying to win, no paying to win. It's all going to be free. So I hope they stick true to those guns. But with that said, at launch, this is already so much more than Call of Duty has done in the last few Call of Duties. 14 maps.
Dang.
Five factions, so five groups of different characters,
Yep.
24 weapons, and then in year 1, they're adding another 12 maps, 4 other factions, and another 12 weapons. So like in terms of content, Ubisoft is putting so much out there, and that for me that's super exciting. And the cool thing is they have IPs from other games. Like if you love Far Cry but you want to be able to play it in a different way, this is cool. You know what I mean? So like I said, it's free to play. People are calling it the Call of Duty killer. And
I heard this. I've seen this. Yeah. I mean, I think this kind of goes back to like what we were talking about with the Madden franchise and the
Mm-hmm.
the wild card football. It's like for a long time, Call of Duty didn't really have any competition.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did, but they didn't. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like Call of Duty
Right.
wasn't going anywhere, and they knew that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this is the kick in the pants that Call of Duty needs to like step it up a little bit.
Right. And I think it definitely is because, like you said, Call of Duty is not going anywhere. It's such a huge franchise. Players are diehard fans of Call of Duty. They've played every single game. They still played every single game. But I just think it's something different in terms of like it's going back to what people loved in terms of like the early Call of Duties of like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2. And that's what's got me excited because I just love that feel of an arcade shooter where they're. So that's the thing with Call of Duty. They try to go on the realism side, but it's still very arcadey. And I don't think they found the balance nowadays in terms of like putting it to like a good balance between the two, if that makes sense. Where this, they're trying to be an arcade shooter. They want to be fast. They want to be jump. You know what I mean? They want to be snappy, power ups, all this cool stuff. And Call of Duty, I think, is just they've gone past who they are. I think.
I mean, when it goes two different ways, right? I mean, you have COD players that are like, hardcore only. I want one shot deaths.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah.
you have very, very realistic as you can get. And then it goes the other way. You have, arcade players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of like the realistic style shooter, and that probably has a volumes to speak to my skill level because like if I get shot one time, like I'm gonna get shot first, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I'm gonna get shot first, so I'm gonna lose. But yeah, I mean, like I don't know, it goes back to like games being games, man. Like that at some point, like the realism is cool, but at some point it's like too much. Like I just
Right.
I want to play something arcadey, I want to play a
Right.
game to play the game.
And that's why I'm super excited about this game. And like I said, I played the beta, and it felt smooth. It had the feel like I would want it to have. And another big cool thing about this is where Call of Duty's kind of made a lot of people mad is they don't have skill-based matchmaking unless you want to play skill-based matchmaking in the ranked. And I like that. And like it's like I'm a casual player. Like I'm not the best, but like I'll hold my own. I'll be the top 1 or 2 every other game and like have fun. But like when you get in the games and skill-based matchmaking, you always feel like you're like trying hard. Because like let's be honest, who wants to go like 5-10? Nobody. You want to get a high score, but you don't want to have to like do it at the detriment where you're like what they say is sweating. Like you don't want to have to do that. You just want to play the game. And like
right.
And I don't know. That's how I feel about skill-based matchmaking. I think it shouldn't be a thing anymore. Like it shouldn't be a thing. And some people will say, "Well, then get good." It's like, no, I don't. Like I'm good enough where I can play casually. I don't want to be 6 inches from my screen. I want to be kind of leaning back, kind of chilling. Like that's where I think games should be.
Yeah, and that's like, and honestly, I feel like that's part of the reason why the first-person shooter, especially in like a competitive situation, has just never really appealed to me. And it's because it's like the people there's no casual gameplay. It's either like you're not good at the game at all, which is me, or you're like super dedicated. You have like a very specific like monitor setup, and like your keyboard sensitivity has been tuned, and it's like, dude, I can't do any of like. I just want to pick up a controller and play a game. And for an FPS, it's like that's a death sentence.
Kind of going off that. For me, it is kind of a pick up and play, and I can chill if I really want to. But like I said, like I don't want to like KD doesn't matter to me, but like I don't want to go 5-20 or anything like that. I want to be able to, you know what I mean? Like there's a difference between like going 30-2 and I'm like this in front of the screen, or I go positive and I'm leaning back a little bit. And that's kind of where I think XDefiant can be with not having the skill-based matchmaking.
Right.
And I just think it's really cool. I think this is a good thing for FPS players that want to play something more relaxed and arcadey and not have to worry about paying to win, such as like Call of Duty Warzone and like getting the different guns and And then with Warzone losing the game modes you love for a week, just to have them come back, and like not having enough maps, but having a bunch of skins that you don't want to buy. So,
Yeah.
and I think as long as they stay true or like honest with like not making it pay to win, I think this game is going to be very successful. And it already is in a way, because like fans, like they didn't want this beta to end. So the beta was like, the last one I played was June 21st to the 23rd. They didn't want the beta to end. They were like begging to like, please keep it going. We're having so much fun. So like the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, and I think that's just going to only speak volumes to what this game can be if they keep up with it.
Did you find any negatives in the beta?
So I wasn't able to play the second beta very long, but as any like first person shooter, arena shooter, like the spawning, the spawning in any FPS like arena shooter is like that. But overall, like it felt balanced. Like, yeah, some of the power ups were like more overpowered than the other, but I guess, and then server issues, but it's a beta. Hopefully that gets fixed. And like I said, I enjoyed the game a lot.
Did you notice improvement in the lag from beta 1 to beta 2? Because that was supposed to be a big deal.
Yeah, I would say it still needs improvement, but from the first one, oh man, it'd take me like I couldn't get in for like 4 hours. Like, well, looks like I'm not playing this beta. And like, and then the next day came, I was like, oh, still can't play. But no, I think they had some big improvements for sure in terms of that. And like I said, you can only get better. Well, hopefully you can only get better, and they don't step back with this kind of game announcement. And it's supposed to come out this summer, so they better be pretty close at this point.
Were you getting input lag though when you were playing?
Lag?
Yeah, like your controller.
I don't think so.
People were saying they were getting input lag.
I might have actually, but maybe I thought I was bad. And actually, now you say that, there would be like times like, oh, I swear I shot you first.
Yeah.
And I die. So I guess so, yeah, but it was to the point where it wasn't noticeable enough to where I was like, I was thinking it's more on me, like, oh, he must have really just pulled his gun faster than me, but maybe that is it. So, but hopefully that gets fixed. So that is a big issue, because I don't know.
The community did say a lot about the lag issues, so I'm assuming that Ubisoft will definitely have that all figured out before drop. But yeah, dude, like I'm honestly not super excited for FPS. You know that I'm not super excited about these games ever. And this one I actually am super excited for. I'm gonna try this because this is gonna be my first. I think this is gonna be my first taste of like trying to do an FPS, because
let's go.
If you guys don't know, I've tried this before. Like me and Adam did a boot camp where he jumped in with me and tried to teach me Warzone, and like it just did nothing clicked. It just didn't click up here for me for some reason. But I think more of the arcadey kind of style could be better and fun. That's the problem, is like I don't mind not being good at a game as long as I'm having fun. Right. And the problem with being bad at Call of Duty is that's just not fun. It's just there's nothing about it.
And then I feel like, so with every FPS game has a toxic backing in terms of like the community. Yes. And hopefully that can kind of stay out of this game, but I'm sure it's going to come around. But the Call of Duty toxic community is so much worse than almost any other game. That and Rainbow Six Siege, I heard, is very bad. Like, if you're not good in that game, you will be shunned like pretty badly. But
and it's honestly really horrible, right? Because it's like, and I don't want to sit here and like boo-hoo, and it's like, they're picking on me or whatever, but it's like, like I'm trying to learn the game. I'm trying to have fun with my friends, and it's like, oh, like I shot you from this corner, and then like you get somebody over your mic, and they're like freaking camper, like go kill yourself, and I'm just like, oh my god, dude, like I don't know, like I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I wasn't camping. I just like finally pulled the trigger at the right time and shot somebody.
Yeah,
like,
Dave's got a tent and a fireplace next to him. That's so funny. But yeah, so that was me when I was a kid. Like I had my account banned because I would message people like, oh, like I was that toxic player when I was a kid. Yeah, and I made somebody like, oh man, some of the things I would say when I was a kid in these lobbies, I would never say nowadays. But like nothing like to the point where I was saying like bad words that I shouldn't have been saying or anything like
Yeah.
that. But like, I'd message somebody like, uninstall this game right now. Like, you shouldn't be playing. Like, I do stuff like
Right.
that. But like, and like that's community of Call of Duty, especially like the kids. Like, it's the same with the kids coming up, but it's worse with the kids coming up now.
Oh,
But,
I believe it.
yeah. But like I said, this game, I'm super excited about it. I think it's gonna be very fun. I think it's gonna be a good alternative to people that are tired of Call of Duty. And like I said, if as long as they stay like, oh, everything's free, we promise, I think they're gonna have a very successful game.
I would love for them to stay. Everything is free, but I just don't think in this day of games it's gonna be possible. I do think there is going to be something that you're gonna have to pay for eventually. But you know, hopefully they prove me wrong, and you know, it is a free to play, and there's nothing to pay for. And if there is something to pay for eventually, it's not anything crazy.
I hope it's cosmetics. If it's something you have to pay for, it's cosmetics and nothing else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I want to buy a couple gun skins. That's cool. But like, if it's anything like Call of Duty, where like you buy a certain like gun and you win. You know what I mean? Like, but,
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm super excited about it. The fan base is super excited about it, and I think it's gonna do really well. And once we're gonna get Dave to play, and he's gonna like it. And it's funny because you say that, oh, I'm excited about this game. This is kind of like some of the games that you show me, like, oh man, I don't know. And then we watch, and I'm like, wow, okay,
Yeah.
Atlas Fallen. Like, I was not expecting to like the game to the point like I'm gonna get this game.
Yeah.
And so that's super cool. That's super cool to see.
No, this
Finally
is-
a game.
Finally a game. Finally
Yeah.
a game, an FPS that I'm excited for. And yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, you know, I think we kind of, you know, this is what we kind of went into the show, is just, you know, hoping to, you know, shed some light on some new stuff. And, you know, hopefully you guys are feeling the same way about some of these, where it's like, you know, like I saw this on, you know, Let's Talk Nerdy, and like it wasn't something I was going to check out, but like now I'm interested. So,
Right.
yeah, this
Exactly.
is my game. This is my game.
That's so
XDefiant.
cool.
And this is my test into the FPS shooters. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, moving on to a game that you know more about.
A game that I'm super excited about.
Yeah. Did you play the other? How many are there?
Did. So there's only one. So
Okay, Hollow Knight.
ladies and
Okay. I'm sorry.
gentlemen, we are talking about Hollow Knight, specifically Silksong, which will be the sequel to the original game.
Okay.
I'm so excited, dude. Do you have the trailer?
I do.
Let's check out the trailer. I honestly think that this is a game that you may actually really, really enjoy. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I know you think it's like kind of like a really kind of hard Dark Souls-y kind of vibe, because those are the games that I play.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about this game, and guys, if you guys never played the original Hollow Knight, basically it's a 2D side scroller. Let's just look at the animation style real quick.
Right.
Like, how do you feel about the animation style? Because I absolutely love the look of this game.
I think it looks very cool, but kind of, I don't think it is gonna be a game that I'm gonna play or really give a shot.
You don't think so?
don't think
What's
so.
concerning for you?
I love Mario as a 2D scroller, but this one, I just can't get aboard with it. It looks cool. Like, don't get me wrong, the art style, the animations are cool, but it just doesn't seem like a game I'm super excited to play.
Okay. All right, guys. So if you're just listening on the Spotify, basically what we're looking at, we're watching the trailer right now, and we can see that in Silksong, we're actually going to be playing as Hornet, which is a character that we've met in the original game, and we're going to be in a whole new kingdom. So this does not take place in the original kingdom, so you're going to have all new settings. Now, the art style is the same art style that we've all come to love from Hollow Knight, but just new settings. And I'm super excited for this game. And I think if you've never played the original Hollow Knight, it's a game that you should go back and give a shot to. So this game was created by 3 people. It's a very indie title. We talked about it on our hidden gems list on the episode that we did with Blue. This game was literally created by 3 people.
That's
and
crazy,
just
actually.
blew up to be like one of the like the most popular games of all time. And the style behind it is really, really cool. So it's a 2D platformer. It's a Metroidvania, but it's a Metroidvania with a story, with like a really good story too. So if you're a lore junkie like me, and I won't spoil too much of the lore or anything like that, but if you're a lore junkie, you're gonna love the Hollow Knight series. And I would definitely say at least give it a shot. Like it's one of those games that, you know, and Blue can attest to this. It's like I was kind of in the same boat where I was like, Hollow Knight, like whatever. And he's like, dude, give it a shot, give it a shot. You almost have to have somebody like push it on
to
you.
play.
Yeah, it's like a push to play, right? Like somebody has to be like, you're playing Hollow Knight, and then you're like, all right, fine. And then you get into it and you're like, oh my God, dude, it was just
I can't
so
stop
sick.
playing.
Yeah,
Okay,
you just
okay.
like can't stop playing it. But it's a 2D platformer with incredible combat. The combat feels so responsive. So like it's another one of those games that is challenging, but it's challenging to the point where, you know, like I've said before, I like these games that are challenging, but not because they're broken. You know, when I would die in Hollow Knight, I would be like, that's on me. Like I messed up. I know exactly what I should have attacked instead of dodged. I should have, I should have dashed over here. You know, it always feels like it's on you. You never feel like the game cheated you. So responsiveness, very, 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 very good. The setting itself is very good. The lore is amazing. Basically, you're like in this underground kingdom of bugs that are being attacked by this infection, quote unquote. So it goes into a ton of lore, but the story is really, really great. And this new game, like I said, it's going to be a whole new kingdom. You're going to be playing as Hornet, so you're going to be getting a whole new moveset. They added all new crafting abilities. They've also added the ability to capture rare beasts. You have the ability to go on solve ancient mysteries, find lost treasures. There's over 150 new enemies for you to fight in this game. And once you beat the game, you're supposed to unlock this like Silk Soul mode, which gives it instant replay value. So, you know,
That's
much
cool.
like the Colosseums, this is a game that you're going to get to play twice. And I'm super excited for it. I think you should try it.
I might try it. So I have a question for you.
Go.
Is there any concerns for all the delays? Because this game's been delayed quite a bit, hasn't it?
It has been delayed quite a bit. And I think, you know, like you guys are probably wondering, you know, why is everybody bringing this game up now? Because it was the showcase trailer was released so long ago, and then it's been delay, and it seems like everybody is bringing up the game now. It's a hot topic again.
Yep.
And I think that's because and this is me going back to my marketing kind of brain here, I think that the timeline of how everything is happening, I want to put this game that it's going to release in the early part of 2024. So I'm thinking like maybe they try to get this game out by Christmas season, or at least by like January. And if you do a little digging, there's some stuff. So there's a company called Good Smile Company. Have you seen this?
Nope.
Okay, so Good Smile Company is basically, they make like the Pop Funko figures. They're like the Pop Funko for Japan, right? So they're very, very popular in Japan, and they are releasing 2 Hollow Knight characters. One is going to be the original Hollow Knight, and the second is going to be Hornet, and they're releasing that on January 24th, 2024, which makes me believe that they would not release the Hornet character unless the game was available, because they want that Steam.
I think, well, the way Funko does it, they always release stuff before. So if it's anything like Funko, it's going to be before, but shortly after.
So the way that Funko does it is before, but from everything that I've seen, this Good Smile Company, it's always after.
Okay.
So
okay, that's kind of cool.
I would say, and don't quote me on this, but I would say that we should be expecting Hollow Knight Silksong early 2024. I would say January.
All right, you heard it here.
You heard it
Dave
first.
called it.
You heard
Cool.
it first. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. And honestly, it's becoming a hot topic again, and I don't think that has anything to do with coincidence. I think the game companies are not dumb. They know exactly how to churn the ashes and get people excited again, and we're seeing this game becoming a hot topic again. And I think it's coming soon. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be everything that the original Hollow Knight was, plus some added stuff. Hornet was a fan favorite from the original game, so now actually being able to play as her with a whole new move set is going to be pretty sweet. And I think it captured everything that we loved in the original Hollow Knight and just added to it. And I do think that it's coming sooner than we think. So yeah. If you guys have not checked out the original Hollow Knight, please check it out and be on the lookout for Silksong dropping, I believe, very, very soon.
January 13th. Is that a Thursday? Because that's the typical day.
Why? What's dropping on January 13th?
Oh no, that's my guess. Oh, that's a Saturday. So January 11th is when this game's coming out. That's my guess.
We're dropping it right now. January 11th is when this game is coming out.
Yeah,
so
that's funny.
yeah, no, I do think early January, and I do think it's one of those games that originally just flew under the radar, came out by three people made this game and just was absolutely amazing. If you haven't played it yet, definitely go check out the first one. I think it's a game that everybody will enjoy. Like I said, it's a Metroidvania, but it's different. It's a Metroidvania with a story. You're not just running aimlessly through a maze back and forth. Like there's things to do, there's places to go, there's a great story behind it. The control set is amazing, the setting is amazing. And it should be a really, really good game. And if you've played Hollow Knight 1 and you're probably super excited for this, so yeah, check it out.
I might.
Do it.
I might. Dude, I have such a list of games that I have to play, and it's just piling on. Piling on.
A gigantic list of games to play too. Yeah.
And with this podcast, it's been even more now. It's like, like I didn't know this was a game, but now it's on my list. Now it's on my list. I bought this game, but I haven't played it yet because it's on my list.
Yeah. So many. And and you guys know we do some review stuff, so getting the games on the list for you guys too, so we can get these reviews out too. So yeah, the game list is getting huge.
It's getting huge.
I'll tell you what, it's about to get bigger though.
What's that?
You know what else we're talking about, right?
Hades 2.
Hades 2, let's go.
Did you play the first one?
I did play the first one, yeah. Did you play the first one?
Cool. So I played it today.
Did you?
I played it today for this podcast. So I want to go preface this by saying I had no idea what this game was. And to be honest, I went in there, died. So I got in there, I got a couple doors in, and I died. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be right back at the store. Yep. Nope. Starts you over. And I was like, why did it not save? And I went in again, died again. I was like, what the heck is going on? It's not saving. I was getting upset. And then I finally, the fourth attempt that I went in there, I was like, oh, it's a roguelike.
It's a roguelike.
And I had no, literally, so it's in my friend's Steam store. And I was like, oh, I just want to check it out to see what it is. So I downloaded it, played it, and I had no idea what the game was. And I was like, but it's super cool. I like the concept. Yeah, I do. And I was enjoying the concept of it. I will say it's not my typical type of game, the hack and slash, spamming buttons. It's not my typical type of game, but it's a cool mechanic to a roguelike in that kind of fashion. Yeah. I thought it was kind of neat. So
yeah. So guys, if you never played the original Hades is a game, based on Greek mythology, which as a lore junkie, it gets no better than that for me.
I love Greek mythology. That's in terms of English class, anytime we talked about Greek mythology, that's when I actually paid attention, and I always got A's on that stuff, but C's, D's, and sometimes F's and the other stuff that we talk about. So yeah, I love Greek mythology.
The stories are so creative, man. And if you love Greek mythology, you're gonna love this game. They stick to the stories really, really well. So that if you know anything about Greek mythology, you're going to get the story that you expect to get. And then on the same term, if you don't know anything about Greek mythology, you're going to get some really cool stories to listen to. And all of these characters in this game have their own lore to the amount of lore that you can get into just getting through all of these characters
Yep.
is just absolutely insane. But yeah, let's take a quick peek at the trailer.
Yeah. Whoop. And this is the only trailer that really they have on Hades 2, which came out in last year.
Yeah. So another game that has been held up for a little bit. I will say it's been held up. But yeah, another game that's getting hot right now to talk about, and we'll talk about why that is a little bit later. But right now, what we're looking at is, so you're not going to be playing as Zag. In the first game that you played as Zag, that was your main character. In this game, you're actually you're playing as Melanoy, and Melanoy is the goddess of the underworld. And if you know her story a little bit, she's associated with nightmares, like madness, like lost souls. So I think this is going to be kind of a darker version. And what we're looking at right now is I forget her name in the lore, but this witch is going to be like her mentor.
Yeah.
So basically, I think you're gonna get like we're gonna get like a little bit more magic-y vibes instead of like spamming weapons in this one, and I'm kind of excited for that. But I just love this style. Like the whole art style is incredible.
The art style is very good.
Yeah, the art style is just amazing. And again, this is a small studio. Supergiant is this was another indie title that kind of came out of nowhere. And it's got that kind of Diablo-esque kind of corner camera vibe. And the game's amazing. It's a roguelike, like Adam said. Basically, in the first game, you were kind of like trying to escape the depths of hell, right? And it's like, because you were this, dead undead character, anytime you died, there was nowhere else for you to go. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you just always kept restarting back. But yeah, it should be super, super cool. I'm super excited for it. And they added a bunch of new stuff.
Which we'll get into that. And I think the main villain is the Titan of the Time. I can't remember his name. Is it Kronos? Kronos. I think it's Kronos is his name. Is the main villain in this. And it's going to be really cool. So like you said, it's a dungeon crawl, like roguelike game. It's a sequel to the first one. But from what I read or what I saw is like you don't have to play the first one to play this, which is really cool. I like games that if you want a new player base, like you don't always have to go back to the original storyline and whatnot.
Right.
I think that's pretty cool, and it's gonna make me play this game. And like you said, it's infused with ancient magic. Weapons are gonna be infused with ancient magic. And there's gonna be like even more gods in the game. I think they said there's at least 12 in the game, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, at least 12. I do, like I said, I do believe it's gonna be more magic. And then, like Adam said, also, this is a game where they've taken the things that we've loved from what it looks like. They've taken the things that we loved from the first game, which is the art style, the combat style, like all of the power-ups, all of like the weapon upgrades and all of those mechanics, all the things that made the first game great. But they've moved on from the storyline. So it's a game that if you've played the first game, the second game is going to be exactly what you expected with a brand new storyline. And if you never played the first game, it's not like there's going to be a huge learning curve to it. It's not like you're going to be lost. Like you could jump in and play Hades 2 without ever playing Hades 1 and be totally fine.
As long as you know what kind of game it is going into it.
As long as you know what type of game
Which
it is.
it's a roguelike.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I had no idea, but I was enjoying myself once I finally figured out what I was doing. I was like, oh wow, I got farther. So that was kind of cool. But
yeah, because like the concept of the game was always like, they didn't want to fault you too much for dying, because like you were gonna die, but like any roguelikes, the more you do it and the more you go through and the further you get in the levels and the more upgrades and things that you find, you start becoming way more powerful, right? So now
you become like a bot, like a god, essentially, like in the game, you're a god. So
yeah, essentially you become a god. And it's like, roguelikes are really hard in the beginning, and then once you kind of get it, it just kind of like clicks. And that's why I feel like maybe some people probably grabbed this game, played it for like an hour and was like, nah, it's not for me.
Yeah, I'm not good at it. I don't want to play. This is
Yeah.
stupid. Yeah. I see what
Yeah,
you're saying.
and I would say to those people, keep going a little bit more, and just give it a try, because it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be grindy, and you're supposed to die a lot in the beginning. But like it's almost like a Bloodborne. Like, I hate to say it, but it's almost like a Bloodborne, like a Dark Souls, something like that. But like in the
Keep
beginning,
trying.
in the beginning you suck, right? So it's actually the further that you go, the better that you get. And I would say if you gave it like a little bit of a chance and just kind of threw it away, definitely go back to it and give it a chance, because Hades 2 should be sick.
Yeah, and I was so close to say, oh, I gave it a chance. It's not for me. And then I was like, you know what? Let me keep playing. Let me see what this game is about. And I was enjoying myself, even though like I was dying a lot, like you said. But it was cool to see like you could still level up things even if you die. Like you find the coins, you like the keys. You can unlock other weapons, the different currencies that you can buy to upgrade your character. Like you're still upgrading your character, but the run is what's cool about the game. So
yeah, and I think they did a really great job at that. Is like, there's a lot of like there's a lot of roguelikes that are, you could do an entire run for like an hour, and if you die, like that really sucks. Yeah, that's it. Like it really sucks. Like you've accomplished nothing. And I think what Hades did great was like making it so that, like you said, there's upgrades that you can get that are specifically for the run, and then there's perma upgrades. So it's like, you might run for 45 minutes and then you die, but it's not a total waste. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like you've done something to your character, and I think they did a great job with that. And they really did a great job with like the character interaction, right? So I did like a ton of runs. I had to have done like hundreds of runs when I played this game. And the one thing I will say is like their NPC dialogue, I didn't run into like duplicate dialogue on the NPCs nearly ever, which was crazy, because I'm literally dropping in, doing hundreds of runs and talking to all these characters. And it's like, how can they keep track of like not having all of this dialogue? And like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
agree.
cool game. The reason why I bring this one up again, I do think that this one, the release date has been pushed for a little bit, but I do think we are getting Hades 2 early 2024.
I was going to say, so they promised an early access, and like they said early access 2023, and that never came.
That never came.
So that makes you wonder, like you said, is it going to be early access towards the end of the year and then early 24 release? I hope so, because I'm going to play this game much more now that I know what it is and understand the mechanics of the game. And I hope it comes sooner rather than later, as long as it's a finished game. But it's super cool. So
again, going back, and this is a lot like Hollow Knight. There's I feel like, from a marketing standpoint, there's a reason that this game is hot again. There's a reason why people are talking about this game. They've been working on this game since 2021. So 2024 is right around the time where we should be seeing the finished product. And I do think we're getting a release early 2024, and there's supposed to be the early access, like Adam talked about. The early access is PC only, and the early access is through Steam. So the best thing that you guys can do right now is add Hades 2 to your Steam account wish list, and then you'll get the notification. You'll be one of the first to get the notification.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So that's the advice that I have for you guys right now. Is if you're a PC player, Steam account, go over to your Steam account, add a Hades 2 to your wish list, and you'll get the notification on the early access before anybody will.
Cool.
But like I said, Hades 2 should be awesome. I'm super excited for it. I can't wait for it to come out. It should be a great game. And hopefully we are getting it very, very soon.
I agree.
Could you imagine if we call 2 drops in one episode?
That would be pretty cool.
Could you imagine
January 8th for this one?
Adam's going January 8th. All right, I'm going to push it. I'm going to go February 2nd.
That's awesome. Hopefully not. Hopefully sooner, but...
Hopefully sooner, but yeah. All right, my dudes. Finally, the last topic of the evening. We're going to touch
Yeah.
on this one very
Yeah.
briefly. Kraven the Hunter.
All right, let's hear your initial thoughts, Dave.
Okay,
I
if you guys haven't seen yet, Kraven the Hunter, the new Sony movie, is set to come out. And here's the thing. Remember when we were talking? Let's go back a couple episodes
Okay.
where we were talking
Yep,
about
yep.
Spider-Man 2, right? And I was like, Kraven is a weird choice for this villain. Like, it kind of makes sense. It kind of doesn't make sense. It makes sense now. It makes sense now, and I'm hoping that the Spider-Man 2 video game just isn't a huge plug for this Kraven movie, which would be really, really terrible. And I'd like to get your opinions on the movie, to be honest, because I'm gonna crap on it.
So you saying that, I wonder if this movie is going to be leading up to that scene that you saw in the trailer of Spider-Man 2. Are they going to connect the two in a way where like you watch the movie and then you're into the game? You know what I mean? That's just like a crazy thought I had, but the way you said, it's like, are they plugging this movie, or is the movie plugging the game, or like, I don't know.
I mean, I think they're hoping that it works in tandem with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But and again, this goes back to me being a snobby comic nerd purist.
Nerd.
Yeah, they destroyed it, and it's not gonna work. So
And I was wondering that. So you're gonna touch on this, but that's not how he becomes Kraven the Hunter, right? He doesn't get bit by a lion, or his blood doesn't. I thought that was so weird. Like, and then like you have Morbius as well, who gets bit by spiders or bats, and then you have Spider-Man who gets bit by spiders. Does that mean Rhino gets trampled by a rhino and becomes a rhino? Like, come on.
in the theory of Sony's multiverse, I guess
Yeah,
that would
right?
make sense.
But-
So here's the thing. All right, we like we said, we checked out the Spider-Man 2 gameplay trailer. We saw Kraven. Kraven looked like Kraven. He looked the part. He played the part. He was a hunter. Fast forward to this trailer, and all that goes out the window. Kraven the Hunter is not actually a hunter. If you really dissect the trailer, he actually does not want to hunt anything.
Yeah, he's a lion man.
He's more or less like an animal lover, like a Dr. Doolittle,
Right.
like the Dr. Doolittle of the Marvel universe now.
That's what
Like-
I got that feel.
He can like talk to animals and stuff like that. And like,
Yeah.
dude, that is not who Kraven is. Kraven is like a bloodthirsty hunter.
Villain. And where this Kraven the Hunter gave me the vibes of he is a vigilante more so than anything.
Anti-hero.
Yeah, vigilante, and that's what I meant to go with. Yeah,
Yeah.
anti-hero.
Yeah.
But that's not him. He's a villain. Like
He's
is
a
he
villain.
ever an anti-hero or any type of hero ever?
Never.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and I was very thrown off by this. And
Never.
same kind of. So I watched Morbius recently too. Is Morbius the same way? Has Morbius ever been an anti-hero, or
No,
he's always been a villain too?
he's always a villain.
What the heck? What is Sony doing? They're like, oh, we want our bad guys to be good.
I think they're. I hate to say it because I love Sony. You guys know I'm a PlayStation guy, but like I think Sony's just afraid to have a bad guy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like,
Everything they do turns into an anti-hero.
yeah,
Look at
like Venom.
Venom anti-hero, Carnage anti-hero. It's like
no, that's not who
No,
they are. They
definitely
are
not.
villains.
yeah, they are
And,
villains.
Man, I don't understand why they're doing that. It's like, it's almost to the point. It's like, why give them a movie if you're gonna make them good and not stay true to who they are? Because for me, like I've always thought as Kraven as a villain. I've thought as Morbius as a villain, Venom as a villain. Like you've never like. It's just weird to me. Like they're evil. Like these are evil characters, and like the way they're portraying them in the video game is how I see that they should be. You know what I mean?
Right. And I hate to say it because I this could be totally wrong. This could be me just throwing something at the wall and seeing what sticks. But Sony only has the rights to the Spider-Man universe, right?
Right.
So is this? I feel like this is Sony's way of just making more movies that aren't Spider-Man movies. because this is
That's
the
true.
only rights that they have.
Mhm.
And instead of making 19 Spider-Man movies, where
Which people
all
are gonna get tired of, they become the
with-
next not Need for Speed.
Fast and Furious,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah. So
But-
instead of having Spider-Man 19, where he fights Kraven,
Mhm.
he's making Kraven its own character in its own movie, and like I get it, but like you're destroying this universe trying to make all of these movies like
Right.
this. You
And
know what I mean?
Why do they have to be good? You know what I mean? Like, just because they are villains doesn't mean they can't have their own movie and being a villain. Like,
Yeah.
villains win. Like, come on.
Sometimes villains win. I mean, that's the facts of life. Is sometimes the bad guy gets away scot-free. I mean, it sucks, but it happens, and it's like I think Sony's just afraid to make that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that more fans would think it's a good movie if they did, or you think that what I'm trying to say is you think the population wants more of that feel good in the end movie, like, oh, you're such a good guy in the end, or you think like there's a bigger population that wants to see them staying true and keep them as a villain?
Unfortunately, I think I think the majority of the population wants the feel-good story.
Yep.
And
Which I don't. Like, I'm completely fine with Kraven being a villain through and through, killing people, murdering Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that.
And that speaks volumes to, you know, how long that you've been kind of entrenched in this world for. And it's like, you know, I've been entrenched in the superhero comic book thing for a very long time. And like, you know, and again, I hate to say this is a bold statement, but like, you know, the comic books are dying. So like the actual physical media comic book is dying, and it's because the younger generation doesn't read.
Right.
You know, the idea of actually going and getting a comic book is like that's a null and void point. You know what I mean? So like myself, where I've grown up reading all of these stories, and I know exactly what I want to see and what I should expect. You know, I'm not the majority, and I know I'm not the majority anymore. And I think I honestly think that, you know, this is a series that should not even be touched, because it's a lose-lose situation, right?
Right.
If you portray Kraven the way that you should portray Kraven, then the general audience is not going to like this movie.
Right.
Your diehard fans are going to like the movie, but your diehard fans also aren't really diehard fans of Kraven to begin with. So
Right.
your audience is already limited, right?
Yep.
Now, if you make the movie that everybody, quote unquote, the feel-good story, blah, 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 you're still going to get a lot of people that don't understand why this is a movie, because it doesn't really make any logical sense. To just the plot line that they're going with doesn't make any logical sense.
Yeah.
So you're already going to get people that don't enjoy this movie, and you're going to get the whole series of comic book fans that don't enjoy the movie. So, I mean, I feel like this movie is a lose-lose either way.
And you kind of see that with when Morbius was released, and you see that with Venom. Like, yeah, there's people that enjoyed the movies, but you also see a lot of the comic book fans like, no, this kind of sucked. I didn't like it. You had the same thing with Morbius. Because honestly, Morbius, I thought the movie was put together well.
Yeah.
But I thought the ending was terrible. Just the story was terrible. But like, the actual feel of the movie was cool. I don't know if you agree, but like the way the movie felt really good. But
I mean,
in terms of like the way they went with the story, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I like this. And then they just like, the last fight wasn't a fight. It was like, ugh. It's like, why? It's so stupid. It's boring. But
yeah. Morbius was one of those movies where I was like, Morbius doesn't get enough credit. Like it visually, it was put together well, but again, story-wise, it was just terrible. And I just, you know, we go back to this all the time, like, just stick to the books, dude. Just stick to the books. Because I mean, like, you know, and Kraven is a character where, like, even if you stick to the book, you're gonna get some people that are upset, because he is a hunter.
Yeah.
He is, and I understand part of the reason of why they did this is turning him into an animal lover, because we've kind of gotten to the point where it's like, you know, you could see that scene of him climbing on a car and punching through the window and like slicing a dude's neck and throwing him out, and that dude's head is like rolling down the street, And everybody's like, yeah, that's cool. And
Yeah.
then there's like a scene where he's like about to shoot the lion. And like, if he shot the lion, everybody would be like, oh my God, did you see he killed the lion? And you're just like, dude, what about that guy's head that was rolling down this?
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares about that guy. So
There's two things that people do not like to see in movies: kids dying, and then dogs dying, like, or just
Yes.
animals in general.
just
So like,
animals in general.
yeah, and so it upsets a lot of people, and I think they're trying to, like you said, they're trying to like avoid that negativity of hate, or like all that hate on social media or just critics in general. So like, you know what? We know Kraven's a hunter, but let's make him hunt people. Yeah,
like we know Kraven's a hunter, but let's turn him into a Dr. Dolittle PETA activist that kills people.
Yeah, because that makes 100% sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I feel like they're nervous. They're nervous about this whole idea. The vibes that I'm getting is Sony themselves is like nervous about this idea. Like, maybe we shouldn't have touched this.
Yeah.
Like now they're just kind of
They're
like
too
"Nah, we're
deep into it
stuck."
now. Yeah.
Yeah, like we've gone too deep, man. We've gone too deep. We can't get out of it.
but
So
obviously, I'm going to see it. It's a Marvel movie. It's a Sony movie, and hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully again, they're not staying true, but make it enjoyable to watch.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
there's
like, visually make it cool. Like, I think that's what it's going to help this movie. But if it's kind of boring in terms of visuals, it's not going to do well.
yeah, and they're also kind of ruining Rhino, which I'm not super
Yeah, I
excited
saw
about.
that. What the heck? Man.
Okay, so in the actual comic books, Rhino becomes he does become contaminated with these chemicals that, you know, make him grow super big and give him muscles and stuff like that. But he's just a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
Like that's all Rhino is. He's just a guy
Right.
in a suit. In
Right.
this movie, they're making it seem like these chemicals like actually turned him into a rhino. Like, you can see his skin like turning into the gray, like leathery kind of like rhino-y skin. And
Is
I'm
the
just like,
venom of rhinos.
yeah,
Is it turned
exactly.
from-
And I'm just like, dude,
The
what
Hulk,
are you
I mean.
doing? Like, what are you doing? The only
the
thing
thing.
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's the thing. Why are they straying away from what Rhino actually is when that makes no sense?
I
And
don't
that's
know.
kind of like what I said earlier. Is it going to be everybody's got to get either bit, bled on, or trampled by a different animal to become that kind of
Yeah.
animal? So
Yeah, it's crazy. The one thing I will say that I am actually kind of excited for is Chameleon will be in this movie. Chameleon's the OG. We talked about it on the Spider-Man draft. The numero uno first villain, and this will be the first time that he's really been in movies. He's had some very minor appearances. I can't think of them off the top of my head. I think it was like one of the Shield movies. Maybe he was in there for a second or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with Chameleon.
Cool.
Knowing what we know so far, they're probably going to screw it up. But
yeah.
I haven't seen
He
anything in the
gets bit
trailer.
by a gecko.
Yeah, he gets bit by a gecko and then turns into a gecko, and then
Yeah.
But I haven't
Or
seen
he-
anything so far in the
he
trailer.
finds a chameleon that like he falls in love with, and then he kisses her. It's like
He kisses the chameleon. The chameleon licks his eyeball while he's
Yeah.
sleeping, and then all of a sudden he has chameleon powers.
Yep,
I don't
exactly.
know. It'll probably be something like that.
But whatever. We're gonna
Whatever.
watch it, obviously, because it's what we do, and we love Marvel, we love Sony, we love all of it, but don't screw it up.
Please don't screw it up. They're already
they're
going to screw it up.
yeah, they're screwing
they
it
are
up,
going to
so.
screw it up. But, well,
But
we
that's
will,
all right.
we will keep y'all updated after we see the movie and let y'all know what we think. If you guys want to check it out, I do. But do you have a release date? It's coming out soon, right?
Ooh, I do not. Let me. We gotta have it. Terrible
Yeah.
podcast host.
I know, a terrible podcast. Sorry, guys.
Movie. Okay, let's see. 2023.
Yeah, it's coming out soon, right?
10/6. Another October.
Another October release.
Jeez.
Let's
jeez,
go.
So much in October. Well, wait a minute. That's right before the game comes out. So they
That's-
might be leading it into the game.
Could you imagine if we call 3 drops on one podcast?
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. You heard it here
nuts.
first. Find
You heard
out
it-
next time.
You heard it here first. You have to
Yeah.
watch the Kraven movie before
Yeah.
you play the game, or nothing
Yeah.
nothing will make sense.
Yeah.
They do have that
that's
scene
cool.
in the trailer where all the spiders drop down, but I think it's nonsense.
I don't know, but like in the beginning of the gameplay trailer, it's like Kraven hunting. He's like, "Oh, you humans are not good enough for me anymore."
But remember when like the scene in Venom where he crushes the spider and everybody was like, "Oh, here we go," and then like it never came to be anything. I think it might be another one of those. Like they're just kind of like teasing us. They're kind of
Yeah.
teasing us with it to like get us to go to the movie. You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm
Who
gonna go to the
knows?
movie, so
Yeah. Who knows?
alrighty.
But yeah. Either way, guys, this go see the movie. If you think the movie sucks, play the game because the game will still be awesome.
Yep. Hopefully.
Yep.
So
All right, my
that's
dudes. Thank you so much. Great episode, man. This is a good
Great
episode.
episode.
We got a lot in, man.
we did.
We did. Guys, thank you so much. Adam, what you got for him?
I have a couple things actually. Not just follow us on social media today.
Let's go.
So we had a challenge set by the last one to hit 250 subscribers. The funny thing is, we hit that before we even dropped the episode. So that is insane. Thank you guys for that. Seriously. So with that said, we're continuing on with the Dark Souls playthrough, and we will be live streaming that next Wednesday, which is the 8th? No, that's terrible.
No.
The 12th.
the 12th. Yes.
Yep. So July 12th will be our next live stream. We'll stay tuned on the social medias for that. We will post it so you guys know the exact time. But super excited. Thanks again. We're so close to 300. So if we hit 300 by the next episode, I don't know what we're gonna do.
I don't know what.
Before we
we're
even
gonna
post this, so that's crazy. That's super funny. But again, thank you so much. And with that said, make sure to follow us on all social medias. Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast.
And if you're watching on the YouTube and you haven't smashed that subscribe button to get us to 300, please go ahead and smash that, and then just scroll through and like a bunch of videos. Just all the things. Just do all the YouTube things. Thank you guys for everything. Love you guys very, very much, and we will see y'all on the next one.
Peace out, nerds.